Hey there. It's Samantha with Soul Pathways. How are you? So sorry. Happy Wednesday. It's August 5th. And I literally just got told by Dad that I needed to do an update. I wasn't going to. I'm not somebody who does updates unless I have something to say, but Dad said I have something to say. He debated me. He wants me to talk about how I healed past things, how I worked through some of my past stuff. So, nevertheless, I'm Samantha Lee, and this is an update to my story, A Long Walk Home, my unconventional love story. If you've been with me for some time, welcome back. If you're new, check out my second video to see if you want to join in. I discuss everything there about the whys to my story. It's a long one, it's ongoing, and it's raw, it's real. I know in looking at me, I don't look like I've been through much, especially being that I'm anointed. But nevertheless, I am an earth angel. I'm a chosen of the 144, and I'm anointed. I was born a psychic medium. I'm a channel. I'm a prophet to divine. I'll be 50 this year. And on this channel, I do cuss and I curse. So if that does bother you, you might want to switch off. Okay, it's something I'm working on, but like I said, I still do it. So you might want to turn off if that's bothersome to you. Okay. So I'll be 50 this year. And I have been going through my journey with divine since birth, basically. And the whole point of even sharing any of this is to say, we all have soul purposes, and part of mine as a chosen child, starseed, is to share the traumas that I've been through and how I healed them with the world. It seems, God has given me access to knowledge and things, healing practices and the such, that He wants me to just share. And so I will, the best that I can. And I don't mind. I've been through quite a lot in my life, and I wouldn't wish my life on anybody. I certainly wouldn't. I know that a lot of people, even right now, I'm trying to close out a cycle of gang stalking. People gang stalk me because they're jealous and envious. It seems like I have a big mission here in life, and I do. And I have a certain allotment of money and things like that attached to my name. And people gang stalk me because they want that money. I've even had my identity stolen. Trust me, folks. The things I've went through in life are not pretty, they're not nice, they're not friendly. I've had multiple crimes committed against me, and I'm hoping and working towards justice within this. So the problem with it is, with my particular situation, is people see that well, A, they shouldn't be going in my Akashic records to learn these things, but B, they want the money, but they don't want to do any of the service. They don't want to do any of the stuff that money was given to me for. You know, it's like, here, daughter, you're given this money to do this task. This is to help you to pay your bills and live off of, so you can do services X, Y, and Z for the public. And they go and they steal all that money from me, and it leaves me destitute and homeless and jobless with my child in a hotel, which is where I am. And then they're continually gang stalking me, thinking that they can continue to do said activities, which they can't. I mean, I am a true speaker after all, as an earth angel. So that's my current one of them, because I'm also dealing with other things. I'm a single parent, so I'm dealing with joblessness, homelessness, gang stalking. I'm working on my own self. I mean, I walked into this situation working on my, I've been trying to get my weight down right. And then before all of this, there's a whole list, a myriad of things I've been through. Even in the last video, I listed an entire spectrum of things, most that I had went through. There might have been one or two items that I had not. I am a heterosexual woman, and I know I spoke to the gay population, bisexual population, and that's because of being a counselor, but also it's personalized because it's in my family, having siblings who identify as such. Made it a very close, it was close to me within the family. So today I figured, you know, let's talk about toxicity within relationships. How did I? And I'll admit right now, I've been in toxic friendships, toxic marriages, toxic family environments, toxic work environments, and currently I'm in a toxic community/city. Yes. You can also be inside of toxic cult/groups, church organizations, period. Apply that as you will. Friend groups of any sort. I've always been different. And you're either going to feel that statement or you're not. For those who feel it, then this message might apply more to you than most. Because you might be that person who's always felt targeted, even no matter how much you tried to blend or stand, in the dark, or stay back and away from people, stay hidden, or be kind, be that people pleaser. Let's say you go the opposite direction from staying invisible. You're that, for lack of better words, the kiss ass. So instead of being the invisible one, you're the one who caters to the people who are completely mean to you. And they might not do it to your face, but they do it. I was a little both, but a little naive about it, because I didn't even know, I don't think, that it was going on. And to be honest, I think at a young age, I really didn't know. I really, really didn't. And now I just don't fucking care. Y'all can fuck off. You're not better than me. That's what I think about it. But back then, that was a very different me. A very different. That Samantha would have definitely cried over a lot of the things that you've done. And she would have collapsed. And she did. Because so many bad things have been going on from you guys to her over her lifetime. So one of the things you're going to notice when you're in a toxic relationship or group is they treat you different. They will be kind in your face and then stab you in the back. They'll talk about you behind your back. You'll be the person they don't invite to shit. Like, Rochester High School never invited me to a goddamn anything. I never got invited to anything after I graduated. In fact, I got erased. I'm completely erased as a student from Rochester High School. Like, I didn't even exist, yet I have the diploma. I graduated with honors, yet I never even existed from that group. Very toxic environment. Just saying. These are people that will do underhanded things like that, and then they'll say, "Are you sure you're missing? Did you turn in this form, that form, the other form?" And they'll gaslight you on it and make you jump through a bunch of flaming hoops to prove your worth, when they know damn well they did that shit on purpose. Period. Because they're already snickering. Trust that. Calling you out. You've been snickering. My whole damn life I've been hearing you. You know you're with toxic people when there's no reciprocity. When it's all give and or all take and zero give, or you're doing all the giving and you're getting no give back. You're not getting to take, or you're getting very little take. You're getting a lot of excuses. Or you're constantly, like, you'll get invited to go somewhere, but you'll be the designated driver. You're always the designated driver for a bunch of people who want to be drunk all the time. Or you go shopping with them and they pick on you. Oh, that looks good. Not really. Can she get any fatter? But really, at the end of the day, it's because they're over there eating lettuce and throwing it up. And they're pissed off because you actually do look fucking fabulous. They'll never admit it. Ever. And even if it isn't about outer looks, what they hate about you most is that you're a good person. And that's how you know you're in a toxic group the most. Is that you're the person who wants to help. And you're always asking questions like, why does this always happen to me? All I wanted to do was help. Why are people so mean to me? Why am I always crying over these fucking jerks? Why am I always being hurt? Why am I always being alienated? And this even happens within your family, darlings. I know that too. Imagine having an older sister, very, very, very jealous of you, who, when you lost your weight and actually got to your right side, she called you anorexic instead of complimenting you. You look anorexic. Really. No, you still got a big fat fucking mouth, so shut it. That or just don't say nothing at all. Or brothers. Well, one who only contacted you when he needed something from you. And got plenty of free readings off of you. But was very, very cold and callous in the end. Never had a good thing to say. You always have siblings when you're in a toxic relationship or environment, family dynamic. You'll have siblings that, or like siblings and cousins or whatever, they band together against you. Or like siblings and a parent, or parents and siblings, and they will be excruciatingly mean to you. And you'll wonder why. That happened to me. I caught my own father hurting my mother. 2013. I mean, my whole family, I have nothing to hide. They're all alcoholics. My sister tried to recover. I am recovered, been recovered for a very long time. All brothers, alcoholic. Sister, I think she's back drinking. Father, alcoholic, pill popper. Mother, she was dying of alcoholism. And I had started getting paid through the state even after getting a master's in counseling, I started getting paid measly shit money through the state to care for her at home because she was terminal. And as a mandate reporter, the moment I felt my father was hurting her, and she and I were very, very close. I favored my mother highly. Before she had really messed herself over, we were thick as thieves. We were two peas in a pod. We like to talk. I understood my mom, and she shared things with me. So when she told me and confirmed to me that my dad was hitting her, I believed her. I believed her. And I have pictures, and I still have those pictures. But it isn't just that. I actually also heard things. My son heard things. I mean, you can't live in the same house as the people that are going through things. They're doing things to one another and not hear things. Because my father also did things to me. 2013, my father had a royal meltdown, tore that house to bits, broke everything up in the house, and a alcoholic psychosis, and pulled his worst number on me ever, and threatened to kill me, my son, and my mother that I guess you could say early morning, because he had kept me up all night torturing me and them. I mean, we were all up all night, including my son, who was 3. Going on 4. He pulled The Shining. Remember when Jack Nicholson's head went through that door and she was in that bathroom and he had the axe? That is what my dad did. He didn't have quite the axe, but he knocked it with his fist and pushed his head through. And that is exactly the picture I had in my head. And guess what? He never fucking fixed that. He left that just like that to remind me who was boss in that house. For a long time, he left that hole there. After he got out of prison, that was. Because he went to jail for that shit. I sent him there. That's how you know you're in a toxic environment. When you're around people who do substances, when you're around people who make you feel lesser than, when you're around people who don't know how to accept you, when you feel like you gotta be separated, when you're around people who make you feel unlovable, unworthy, when you feel like you gotta change you just to fit in, when you actually when you actually feel better leaving the house because the energy's better outside of the house. I used to go sit in the backyard because it felt better than sitting in the house. I'd sit out there for hours and look at the stars. I wondered why I did that, and I know now why. And I would long to go home. I would sometimes cry. And I thought it was just, me being utterly sad and wanting to just go to heaven, because shit was hard. Shit was really hard for me. And how did I get out of that? Slowly. I mean, real slowly. I'm not somebody who's fast and furious. Nothing you do in this world should be done fast. You want to heal, go slow. Take a note from the trees, from Mother Gaia, from anything, from the grass, from the leaves. Slow and steady wins the race. Trust me, that's a hard lesson, because who wants to go slow all the time? Especially if you've been on the journey for 50 years and you're like, I'm so over this shit already. But sometimes you gotta bite down, especially when you're 5 seconds from a miracle. You didn't come 50 years just to give up 5 seconds before, right? So, after that, I left in 2022. What do you do in toxic environments? You leave. There is no better answer. It's like drinking chemicals or doing something that's harmful to you. I wish I had a better answer. Do you know how heartbreaking that was for me? In 2022, I found, after I had to report that my father was beating my mother, that my father had went behind my back with my sister and brother. And they went and secretly took guardianship of my mother, erasing her out of my life, because they went to the judge and told a bunch of bullshit lies about me. Lies. It's okay. When you don't live with people, you don't understand. See, I hold grace for that, and I have to forgive it. It doesn't make what they did okay. It really doesn't. But when that happened, after me doing the right thing, I left. I didn't have a choice anyway, because it went from bad to worse. I mean, after that, my father, he got real petty. He shut off the lights and the TV in the house, and I had to call on it, and he was forced to turn it all back on. It got real petty. And then he served me an eviction, and it was really petty. My father went from being 70 to being 5. He was his shoe size. He was acting his shoe size, not his age. All because I reported him for doing horrendous things to my mother and to me. And I have these pictures. I have bruises all the way down the side of my body from what he did to me that day. But I'll tell you what, I didn't flinch, and he didn't scare me, and I went toe to toe with that motherfucker. And I do call him a motherfucker. He is not my father. He lost that privilege the moment he threatened to kill me, my child, and my mother. And then started calling me a fat whore bitch instead of my name. I understand, though, from a counseling perspective, the need for forgiveness. Can you imagine what that could do to me or anybody holding on to something like that? My father was abused as a young child, horrendously, by his biological parent and then a stepfather, and his mother neglected him. My father was not a loved man, not a loved boy. I hold a lot of sympathy for my father as a little man. And though it does not take away his choices as an adult, it does allow me to garner a space in my heart where I can hold grace enough to forgive him for what he's done to me in this lifetime. It sure does. And I've done it with every single person that's ever done wrong to me. Ever. People who are even still doing it, I do that. Why? Here's why. When you do not do that, when you do not find a way to hold space and grace for a person and forgive, you're the only one. Your bitterness and anger and resentment hurts. Those hurtful, negative, shitty emotions, they gotta go somewhere. We're sponges. We're almost 80% water. Our bodies are almost 80% water. And I promise you this, the Chinese, the Eastern medicine, they got it right when they say our emotions are connected to organs. Metaphysically, when you harbor resentment and anger, that shit's gonna build up and calcify within you. And you will wind up with cancer like a motherfucker. Wherever your trauma is, you will wind up with some sort of disease. Dis-ease. I have been naturally curing myself and healing myself since I was a young person. And I have known this my whole life, that I could heal myself. This is nothing new to me, but it's something I want to share with you. Forgive the people that piss you off and hurt you and make you cry and stab you in the back. Not for them. No, 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 no. For you. For you, darling. To save your own life. You'll forgive yourself down the line when you do not get sick. Because the number one commodity in this world is not money. Health is wealth. Because you can be rich as a motherfucker, but what good is that if you're dying? What good is it if you've got cancer and AIDS and every other fucking disease in this world because you've harbored so much anger and resentment and you didn't do any of the work to heal any of it? Here's the thing too. I don't even believe in counseling. And I've got the counseling degree. I was made to get the counseling degree so I understood the mechanics and of psychology. I'm understanding why I got it, but trust me when I say, ooh-wee, that's another 4 years I went sick when I did not get the internship off that. And then I healed myself from that incurable autoimmune disease. So, and that's another story. Back to the first. When you're in a toxic environment and people are treating you horrifically, your first step is to identify it. Come to terms with it. That's the hardest shit ever. because most of the time we want to wind up talking our shit out of it, especially with family. We always want to talk ourselves out, and it winds up becoming a tower. We wind up getting our asses kicked out. I wound up getting evicted because I didn't have the balls enough to leave on my own. Trust me, do it before you get kicked out. Easier that way. Then it's on your terms. Then you get to do it on your terms and in your way. And they're left like, what the fuck? And you're like, yeah, gotcha. But you're not doing it, though. Let me backtrack this. You're not doing that to be an asshole. You're doing this to save your own life. You're drawing a boundary. You're not saying, I don't love you. You're saying, I can love you, but I need to love you from over here. Safely over here, because I've never had much success in loving you up close. In fact, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to love you up close ever again. See, I've never been back. I left in 2022, and I don't ever have the intention of ever going back. In fact, I was instructed to rip up that family tree. I ripped it up, I burnt it, and I planted a new one. I have an entirely new family tree. I lost so much on this journey. In fact, I didn't lose so much. I lost everything. And I do mean everything from the first 50 years of my life. Every person, every friend, every job, every relationship. Can you even imagine? Look around you. Think about all the people in your life. Could you imagine losing every singular person you ever knew from the moment of birth? Every job? Every person. And then wind up homeless and jobless and being forced into a state of isolation where you're being bullied and kept by people unknown who don't feel you deserve to be loved or successful, and that you don't have a right to self-actualize, because that's what it is. They don't want me to self-actualize. And God says, well, that's shit. That's not going to happen. You're definitely going to self-actualize. And I agree. At the end of the day, with toxic friends, loved ones, family members who make you feel lesser than, unloved, singled out, isolated, and have been doing this cyclically, so in a pattern over your lifetime, clear boundaries need to be set. And I do mean clear. And when I say that, I mean you need to leave the environment. Move yourself. The very moment you're capable. Move yourself away to the next city over, to another place. Move yourself in a way where you're capable of having relief. I didn't say it wouldn't hurt. You know, when you plant seeds, when you first plant them, where are they? That's right, they're in the dark. Yeah, sweetheart, they're in the dark. But you're not alone. In that dark, you have your higher power with you, and you have people, things, energies helping you, supporting you. Do not give up. In this world, outside of your higher power, you have you. And you're pretty fucking amazing. Nobody tells you that enough, I'm sure. Well, I'm telling you. You're made for a reason. And you have skill sets and abilities that this world needs. And we got to get you through this season of darkness in order to get it to where you can share them. So, whatever it is you got to do it. Just do it. Do what's right for you. This is not something, I was just told, that you answer with your head, so logically. This is something you would answer with your heart. It's a spiritual thing. It's a heart question. It's something you know. That's why the first thing I said, for those who know, will know. Usually if you've been abused, you know right off the top. If you've been neglected, you know right off the top. I've been abused in every singular aspect. And I made it out. I'm alive, I'm well, and despite what the world around here wants everybody to think, I'm still a pure and good heart. What really has happened here is I've learned how to discern who to share that good and kind heart with, and who. And I've also learned how to draw boundaries and how to hold them, which is something I didn't know how to do before. So, yeah, there's a difference, you know, I was just thinking too, there's a difference between, asserting yourself, and aggression, right? I lived in a household full of really aggressive people. Like, people would get angry and they'd punch holes in walls and break things. It was nuts. People did not have standard conversations. I'm not that person. I will get angry. You will see. I will raise my voice. I have even screamed early on in my awakening. But the further I get into this, the less reaction people are starting to get from me. And I'm beginning to realize this is just the way of it. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm cold. It just means I'm not about to waste my time on that. Asserting yourself is not, pounding holes in walls. It's being able to sit down and respectfully have a conversation with somebody and say, hey, this happened and it bothered me. You did X, Y, and Z and it bothered me like this. Blah, 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 blah. Can we figure out how to work through this in a different way so next time? And that person should be like, yeah, hell yeah. Or if they're like me, they'll beat that person to the punchline and be like, you know what, earlier I know I said and did some stuff that was rather rude. I'm going to work on me because I want to be the best me ever. And I'm going to treat you better. I feel real bad about how I treated you. That shit was wrong and it's not going to happen again. And I'm going to catch myself before that person even has to bring that up. How about them apples? That's assertion. That's the difference between asserting yourself and aggression and integrity. Having the integrity to show up to do it. You just seen it. I admitted I did something. I said how shitty it was. I didn't say why. I didn't try to blame it on anything. I owned it. And then I said I'd work on myself. And the last thing I'd do is I'd hug and kiss them. And probably be crying a little bit because I'd feel pretty shitty about it. Because nobody wants to hurt people they love. If they do, you're not with the right person. You just aren't. That's another thing. If you're with people that constantly are hurting you and they have no fucking feeling about it, and they're constantly doing it, and you're in the wrong place. If they see you cry, and they're like, and they don't fucking care, or they look away, or it's like, how can you and I be in the same relationship and I'm all fucked up and you're good? How is that even possible? Because we're not meant to be together. Hello? I'm leaving. Fuck off. I want a divorce. I'm out. And I be gone. Fuck the money. Fuck whatever. There ain't no way. This life is way too fucking short for any of that bullshit. I got one life to live. I'm about to do me, and I'm doing me the best me way I can. And that would be the end of that shit. Period. Because if you think about it, you really do. What the hell are we doing out here? For real. If you have somebody you love, go for it. If you're with people that you're not supposed to be with, get the fuck out of there. That's my best advice to you, but do it respectfully, because here's the thing. Karma's a bee. How you leave a relationship will be how something ends for you coming up. So leave with grace. Leave with dignity. Treat that person with respect and kindness. I mean it. Let's say you're currently in this place. Do not leave like an asshole. You might want to be, and they might deserve it, but you're going to be the better person. You're going to show them that what you've learned. You're going to show them that you are the better person, and you're going to hold your head up high. And not be out of arrogance. No, not saying I'm better than you. No, you're just going to be like, okay, I got to do this for me. I want you to have a really good life. And I wish you the best. I hope you find somebody better for you. I want you to have better in this world. Because you deserve to have better. But I'm not it. And you're going to leave. You can have the car, I'm taking the house. Or you can have the house, I'm taking the car. I don't know. Whatever. Don't fight. The less fighting, because trust me, wherever you're easygoing and giving, you will get back so much more than you ever lost. Mark my words. God has a way, whatever the higher power is, has a way of returning anything ever lost for those who do good. Especially if you're in a place where you've been abused or you've been cheated on. It's just really toxic and you know you've been treated like crap. Just, if you're real good about how you leave, you really work on it. I'm not saying kiss their ass. I'm just saying don't treat them abusively either. Be mama bear. Porridge is not burning hot, but porridge is not ice cold. We're doing right in the middle. So, I mean, I'm not going to accept your shit, but I'm not going to give you shit either. I am leaving, but I don't want bad shit for you. I don't want bad shit for you. Sort of thing, you know. And I don't wish bad things for my father or my family. I have literally cried tears to God over my siblings and my father. I still, even this morning, said to my son, 1 second, motorcycle. Gang stalker possibly. Nevertheless, I even said this morning to my child, I missed my mom because she died last year in October. And they would not let me come to say goodbye to her. I found out when she was on hospice. And I had one final conversation with my sister. And she just wanted to spend that conversation fighting with me. And all I wanted to do was arrange 15 minutes. I promised her I wouldn't say anything. I'd just go in. I'd probably get a picture and hug and kiss my mother and let my son hug and kiss her and say our goodbyes. You never know when it's going to be your last minute, your last moment. With anybody. Luckily, I'm a medium. But it still doesn't make up for that. I can still smell my mother's perfume. She wore the same kind every day. I still don't wish them ill will. I don't sit around thinking, I hope you die a fiery, horrible death or anything shitty, even with that. Sorry. Frog in my throat. You know, I don't wish them bad things. I do want, you know, God to, you know, I call judgment on it. I'm going to be honest, I did. It's not fair what's happened to me here, but in the same breath, I'm not going to sit around and harbor resentful feelings for it either. That's not living. That's hating. I don't have time for that. I want to go, I want to move on, and I want to live. And that is how you continue to live and move forward. They're choices, you see. in how you perceive things and think about things. So it's not only physical actions, but it's how you internalize it emotionally and then choose to think about it. Because, like I said, God already said, don't make this decision with your thoughts. Make it with your heart. Then later on, you might involve your mind more after you've moved. But you've got to move via your heart. You cannot do it with your head, because you will talk yourself right out of it every time. I promise you. These are the people you've spent the most time with in life, especially if I'm talking family or marriage. I've not had much luck in these relationships. My first husband raped me. I've had friends just ghost me. More than one. I've never been really liked or treated well by my siblings. Obviously my father. My mom was really the only one. She was my closest. And then she died and they wouldn't allow me to even see her. So I got out of that by leaving and doing a lot of work to heal it by forgiving excuse me, I got to itch myself. Sorry, I got an itch. Okay? Yeah, healing work. A lot of birds just went by. That's God's confirmation. And then understand, everybody heals different. If you ask about the grieving process, Kubler-Ross, there are stages. Google them. They're different for everybody. Cyclical. It's like a tornado spiral. We sometimes go up it, down it. We can bargain with God. We get angry. We can get resentful. For me, healing is a lifetime, especially when it involves somebody who's in your heart. How do you know you're getting close to being done? You don't get triggered as much. And you're like, you can feel it. You're like, I must be getting through this better. You're getting through the holidays easier. You're getting through special days easier. Like right now, like Christmas and my birthday are very quiet. You might find certain days a challenge. If there's special days that you spent with a person or something like that. So, how did I heal it? I left. I left. After identifying and making the decision, I left. I left the environment and the people. I drew a line and I left. I didn't make them leave, I left. And I didn't look back. Now that can be different for all of you. But when somebody is not good to you, you don't maintain contact. I guess this would just depend upon your situation. Some of you're like, well, what if this is the mother of my children or the father of my children and they're young, and then that's different, right? Like I said, this will be different for everybody. Some of you might have to maintain some sort of contact. You set your boundary But here's one thing. Include your higher power off the top, because that's your protection. I do nothing without God. Nothing. It's the first thing I do in the morning. I wake up and I say, "Good morning, Dad. Thank you for waking me up." It is. Thank you for protecting me overnight. Thank you for protecting me, my son, my kingdom spouse. Every morning, clockwork. He adjusts my schedule. I surrender. I surrender every day to my dad. It took time, and maybe we'll talk about this more, because the idea of surrendering could be scary to some. It was scary to me, I'll admit. Surrender? What do you mean? Because I'm a freedom lover. It's like, I want to do my own life my way, on my terms, and what do you mean, surrender? I'm not surrendering shit to nobody. That was exactly how I thought it the first time. So maybe next time we'll talk on surrender. What do you think, Dad? I think that might be a good topic. Yeah, I think Dad's in on that one. So, just so I can explain it more. So for those of you out there who are in hard spots, challenging situations within dynamics of people, there's a way out. You might not like it, but you're strong enough to do it, because I'll tell you this, if you're aware of it, then God brought you to it. And if God brought you to it, you know it. He'll bring you through it. Amen, amen. There ain't nothing in this world that if you're brought to it, that you won't be brought through it. So understand that. So if you're aware of something and you're avoiding it, that's because you're doubting something, your own potential and your connection. And that even might be being influenced by outside people, and you don't even know. Just thinking. These are just thoughts. Nevertheless, the way out is always in. It's in. To get through, you gotta go in. That's why I said the first way is to go inward and to determine what to do. It's always to leave, though, when it's toxic. Always. That's why I said in my environment, I'm leaving the very moment I can. I'm out. And they all know it too. And I won't have a second hesitation about it. I've gotten real good at walking away. When you don't have anything or anything to lose, or anything to stay for, kind of makes it easy, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go. I gotta go make dinner. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thank you for joining me. I hope that helps somebody. And I'll be back and we'll talk on surrender a little bit. Okay? So much love to you. Be well. Bye.